one of the harshest lessons that I think a lot of us learn at some point is that you can never truly be enough for a person who isn't enough for themselves. I think a lot of us feel the need to sort of, love someone into loving themselves, right? A lot of us find ourselves in relationships with people who deep down really don't love themselves. Deep down, they carry some resentment towards themselves and they project that resentment on you, right? Deep down, no matter how much you try to make them happy, you can't make them happy because they're not happy with themselves. And I think a lot of us, to some degree feel as if that our love, will be enough to change this person. We feel as if our love will be enough for them to sort of begin to see value in themselves. And I think the more we try to get them to see value in themselves, the more we lose ourselves as well. The more we try to change them is the more we lose ourselves, the more we lose our happiness, the more we lose our joy, right? And we're with people who, in our endeavor to change them, we're stifling ourselves of our joy. Our joy is literally being sucked out of us simply because we're so hell-bent on I guess getting this person to see that they're valuable, right? We're disrespecting our own selves. See, you can't get someone else to see their value. You can't love someone into loving themselves. That's something that they have to see on their own, right? You can try your best, but it simply won't happen, right? The more you do that is the more you take away from yourself. You were never meant to do that. You need to come into this world to do that, right? A lot of people are so unhappy with themselves that the relationship in itself will be a projection of the fact that they're not happy intrinsically, right? If a person is never truly happy from within, then no matter how much time you spend with them, the relationship won't ever truly be what you want it to be. And this is why you have to come to a point in which you're not afraid of letting someone go. If you're not getting what you want from that situation, if you're not getting what you want from that person, it is perfectly fine to let them go. I talk about this all the time, right? And I say that, very often we believe that loving someone means that we always have to hold on to them, right? We always have to cling on to them. But I think that's a big misconception, right? I think letting someone go with love is very often the right thing. And you can let someone go with love, right? It is possible. Love is sensitivity to the moment. Love knows what the moment demands. And sometimes the moment demands that you let a person go. You let a person go not only for their sake, but for your sake as well. What good is it being somewhere if you're not happy being there? What good is being somewhere if you wake up every day and you feel as if you're in hell? What good is it walking on this earth and you're meant to be happy, right? Happiness is something that you're meant to walk in on this earth. What good is it being at a place if it sucks you off your happiness, right? Sometimes letting someone go is the best choice. And very often letting someone go, is the thing that causes them to awaken, right? Believe it or not, sometimes you have to give people the opportunity to miss out on you so that they can make a change, right? It's not until a person loses something that is valuable to them, right? Or something that they fail to see value in the moment. It's not until then until that person begins to wake up and that person realizes that, they've been living the wrong way for a very long while. And if they continue down this path, then they're going to continue to miss out on good opportunities in their life, right? Sometimes you have to let a person fend for themselves. You have to let a person stand on their own feet, right? Your love won't be enough to love them into loving themselves, right? Your love won't be enough for them to change. And that's a harsh truth that a lot of us have to accept. And the sooner you accept it, is the sooner you can focus on yourself, right? You don't have to always fight an uphill battle for love. You don't have to always feel as if you have to change a person to get the love that you want, right? There are people out there who will reflect back to you, the very same thing that you desire. But I think a lot of us live in such a scarcity mindset, right? We believe that whatever it is that we want in the world and out there is hard for us to get, and so we're willing to settle for what we don't desire, or for a portion of what we want, simply because we don't believe that what we want exactly is out there. But everything that you want is out there. But how can you have what you want, or have what you desire, if you keep holding on to something that is not for you? How can you have what is for you if you keep holding on to what is not for you, right? Sometimes you have to close an old door to open a new one. Sometimes you have to walk out that door so that you can walk into a new one. Life demands us to make harsh choices. Life demands us to follow our heart. Life demands us to choose ourselves, right? And choosing yourself simply means that you don't allow yourself to be at a place that you know is not meant for you. So really ask yourself, why are you there? Why do you feel the need to change this person? Why do you feel the need to prove yourself to this person? Why do you feel the need that getting them to love themselves is your responsibility? You really have to ask yourself that question. You've been living life and you've been thinking that what you desire is scarce, and it's all in your mind. There are people out there that are in alignment with you. There are people out there who you won't have to fight for their love. You won't have to fight for them to recognize your value. They are out there. But you can't come into alignment with this person if you keep holding on to a situation that is causing you to suffer. Right? A lot of us are willing to hold on to something, even when it causes us to suffer internally. Even when it's literally draining the life out of us, we're willing to hold on to it simply because we don't believe that we can have better. And we don't believe that we'll ever truly find better. But that mindset in itself is the thing preventing you from finding what it is that you desire. Right? Let go. Recognize that you can't love them into loving themselves. Recognize that no amount of you trying to change them will get them to change. If you can't change the person, right? If you can't get them to change, then let them go. Don't let them go out of resentment, right? Don't let them go thinking that you wasted your time. And don't get me wrong, right? Very often when you're in a situation that you've been holding on to for so long, you feel as if you wasted, a large portion of your time, right? And it's okay to feel like that. But you have to also understand that, every situation that you find yourself in, everything that ended was never truly a loss, right? You gained something from it, right? Just because it ended doesn't mean it didn't work. That was where you needed to be in the moment so that you can find the right path, or you can truly wake up and recognize what you truly desire, right? Sometimes we have to be somewhere we don't want to be to recognize that that's not where we want to be, right? That's how life is. You sometimes have to take the wrong path to get to the right path. But you know deep in your heart that this person won't change. You know deep in your heart that your love will never truly be good enough for them if their love isn't good enough for themselves. And letting go is very often the right choice. Not for only you, right? But for them as well. Because ultimately, they need to wake up And they need to wake up and see their worth. They need to wake up and recognize their value. And very often they can only recognize their value when they lose something that they didn't see value in. So let them go. You'll find better. There are better people out there for you, right? Better people that are in alignment with you, who are ready and willing to reflect the love and embrace the love that you have to give. But don't put your love in the wrong place, in the sense that, you're stifling your love by giving it to someone who won't recognize it. Give it to the right people. Give your time to the right people. Give your presence to the right people who are willing and waiting to accept it and reflect it. Peace and blessings.